skyline of Dallas, Texas. Downtown as busy and bustling as ever. The crowd is assembled at the American Airlines Center looking for a Mavericks win here in downtown Dallas. Sit back and enjoy this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports fans. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan alongside Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg.
Jesus Christ, this Kale's bad.
Look at the matchups here and
Literally. No, I just skipped to like the end and the Kale's going shit.
How about Dirk Nowitzki?
Well, when you combine Dirk's height with his touch and his release, which is basically behind his head, he becomes impossible to defend. And unless he's just missing his jump shot that night, you're in for a long night.
Especially when you couple it with his knack for playing with his back to the basket when he wants to. Often Dirk will catch it on the low block, lean into a defender to create some space, and then the next thing you know, he's up in the air knocking down that jumper.
And of course, Derek Williams, with him gone, we'll see how they get along.
Kevin, I thought he was really an important player for them, undervalued and not given the credit he deserved. That's not to say the trade was a mistake, but I think they'll miss him more than you might expect.
Well, chemistry-wise, I think you're onto something. He was a glue guy. He held things together for them in quite a few areas. So not having him around might take some getting used to.
And stolen by Pekovic. And now running it up the court. Martin pushing it up. Lets a floater go. And Rubio gets it to go on the assist from Kevin Martin.
Off to a nice start here. They've hit all three from the field. You know, the Mavs, like many teams, always aware of who the free agents are that might help them become better. And prior to last season, they made sure they got their finances in order to make a run at Darren Williams to bring him home to Texas. Didn't work out, but they did the same thing this last offseason.
And for the Mavs, they know that in order for them to remain competitive and not go through a traditional rebuilding phase where they're going to finish, at the bottom for a few years, Steve, they're going to have to lure some free agents.
And one way or another, their top brass has always made sure that they would be able to move contracts around and make an offer to whatever big-name player was out there. But think about it, the last 2 years they had unlimited cap room, unable to lure that big free agent fish to Dallas.
The pass to Ellis. Puts it up from 15. The rebound by the Timberwolves. Fresh from a win against the Nuggets.
So often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easy.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right. On dunks and layups against a defense that didn't really put up much resistance.
And the story of this game in the early stages is just how well they've been shooting the ball.
Steve, their percentage from the floor is really impressive up to this point.
Now here is Harris. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Hawks in Atlanta.
Did a great job picking the defense apart, too. It wasn't just his scoring.
Oh.
Credit for his passing in that game, too.
Minnesota's 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game.
For most of his tenure in Minnesota, Kevin Love has been a happy camper. But last season, he made some statements that showed he had some reservations about just how long he'll be a Timberwolf.
Boy, what a fantastic opening quarter for them.
Yeah, it sure has been. Look at the lead they've jumped out to already. Impressive.
Marion setting the pick for Harris. There's the dish to Ellis. Back to Harris. 6 to shoot. Puts the lead pass in front of him. Nowitzki's shot is no good. And going back to the comments Kevin Love made, he expressed some concerns with the team's management and some of their maneuvering of players and who they were looking at.
Well, I think he was surprised, along with the rest of us, that they didn't offer him the full 5-year contract. But they were worried about his knee. And so in the end, he said, okay, give me 4, but I get a 4th-year option. And as a result, Minnesota looking like they might lose him altogether.
Looking at the Timberwolves, let's see where they rank in the NBA statistics right now. First in fewest turnovers per game, 11th in three-point field goal percentage, and they're in the top half of the league in free throw shooting as well. Pretty good, but they could certainly stand some improvement there.
And what's most impressive out of all those numbers, Clark, is the few turnovers that they commit. Because now all of a sudden you're executing, you're putting a lot of pressure on the defense because they know they're not going to force a lot of steals and get out in transition to find easy points.
A feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Love's got his first basket.
Well, with this soft D, they're allowing them to shoot a very high percentage from the field so far.
Yeah, and they're just not offering any resistance, not making anything difficult for them, and they're able to kind of do whatever they want to do.
Now here is Harris. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Carter kicks to Harris. Back to Carter to end the run. Rebound, Minnesota. Pekovic has got 3 rebounds now in this one. Last time they met was in Minnesota.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be much of a challenge for them in that game. It seemed like they scored at will, not much defense that they were facing.
Yep, they had the defense on its heels early the entire game, and actually nearly the entire game, and no matter what unit was out there, looked like a mismatch to me.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Well, Kevin, Rick Carlisle and I got a chance to talk just for a bit. Team rebounding is something he stressed to his side, and rightfully so when you face a player that gobbles up the glass like Kevin Love. He told me that Love rebounds at an unreal rate, and his side can't take any mental breaks.
Here's Shved. Minnesota with the ball. They're on a 20-3 run right now.
You know, the Wolves were just decimated by injuries last year, and it really put a snag in their season from the start, with Rubio still recovering from his ACL tear and Kevin Love missing a lot of time with his hand fracture. They were missing 2 major building blocks.
So on the floor for Minnesota, big men, Love and Pekovic. Alexei Shved is out there with money, and it's Muhammad in at the 3 slot.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one.
And with the Wolves last year, Ricky Rubio came back and helped them turn things around a bit, but Kevin Love would end up playing very few games for him, Steve, and they never really got the chance that they once seemed to have.
Now, Love's injury, I think, just devastated this team. And Rubio, of course, coming off that ACL, he eventually made it back, but those are the key guys. I mean, Rubio and Love have to be the foundation of this club. They added a lot of three-point shooting in the offseason, so this should be a pretty well-rounded team, but it's up to the stars, Kevin.
Minnesota leading by 13. Rubio with it. Sean Marion covering. Passes it to Peterson. The shot. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist. Rubio's got 3 assists in the game. So for Dallas, their last game a win against the Atlanta Hawks.
And they played outstanding team defense in that win, Puck. Nobody got stuck on an island. Everybody was helping. Great rotations. It really looked like they were together in that game.
Yeah, and even when they were rotating different players in and out, Steve, I thought their communication was 5-star and the teamwork was very strong. You know, well, the days of the Matrix putting up 22 and 12 with a couple of steals every night are long gone, but Sean Marion is still a big factor for teams as he's such a solid defender with his reach and really causes problems in the passing lanes when he's out there active.
Ellis off a pick from Nowitzki. And it's Ellis penetrating. And Marion gets it to go. For Minnesota, they've gone 4 of 8 so far here in the second quarter. And at 35 years of age, Sean Marion still an outstanding rebounder, top 5 among small forwards and rebound rate last season.
And inside, he's very dangerous. He's got a lot of little funky shots, little floaters and runners. He does have the ability to step out and make a 3, particularly from the corner, but it's really in the paint where he does his damage.
And here's Ellis from beyond the arc. The second chance effort, rejected by Peterson. Let's take a moment to guys' take on scoring so far for the Timberwolves.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And they're also showing some muscle here in the first half, finding a lot of points in the paint area.
Certainly was not the year the Mavs expected or had in mind last season. After retooling and expecting a playoff appearance, they ended up out of the playoffs and looking for answers.
Here's Harris. Good, he hits the jump shot. Harris has got his first bucket of the night. Timberwolves leading by 14. Pass to Peterson. Jacks up a 3. A rebound by Blair. And back to the Mavs, 24 and 17 at home, which is a solid record, but you have to be better than solid, I think, Steve, to get into the playoffs in the Western Conference.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Kevin. And you think about the Mavs' shortcomings last year, I mean, Dirk being hurt early, so they didn't mesh well, and then when he did come back, there probably was too much ground to make up. So hopefully Dallas can have a full season of health for Dirk and the rest of the roster.
Ellis, the pass to Harris. Harris missing again.
Almost surprised that he had that much room to work with.
Martin attacking. Rubio. Back to Martin. There's the pass to Peterson. Beyond the arc. An offensive rebound. Pokovic. Nice touch on the bank shot. Pekovic has got 6.
And what you love about him is just the way he hits the offensive glass. I mean, he knows that those are the easiest points for him when he can find a loose ball, get an offensive board, and put it back in.
No.
Another area where he excels is on one of the most functional plays in basketball, pick and roll. He will lower the boom on the defender with a solid.
Now, presented by Sprint. Glad you're the Sprint halftime report, presented by Sprint.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback.
Talk about being on his game. Look at the numbers for money. He has 17 points, and he's buried a ton of three-pointers in this game, too.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of just how many of those he's hit.
Marion and Nowitzki at the forwards. Ellis is out there with Devin Harris, and it's Dallenberg in at the center position. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, money in the last outing against the Nuggets provided a nice lift. He ended with 23 points, as he usually does, really knocking down shots from beyond the arc. A dominating performance from a player who might start making waves around the NBA. That is what the franchise hopes, at least, guys.
All right, Doris. Well, what do you guys think? Does that kind of big performance energize a player in his next game, or has it, like Steve, taken a toll physically?
I think it just depends on the individual, Kevin. Probably depends on how he's feeling physically overall. But usually a guy who has a big night like that, it's going to carry over. Just the confidence. It'll carry to the next game.
Yeah, I would not disagree with you on their series. There's something about confidence in this game that really fuels you and energizes you. When you've performed well, then you feel like you can do it again and again and again. Nikola Pekovic, guys, out of Montenegro, a super physical 6'11" big man. I mean, he is a battering ram offensively. He's a terrific offensive rebounder, can score around the rim, doesn't shy away from contact. And when he gets to the line, he knocks him down pretty well for a big guy. This guy, I tell you what, he's going to be one of the best big men in the league in the next few years. I don't think there's any question about it.
Nowitzki with the steal. Harris with it. And it's Martin picking him up. Marion kicks to Ellis. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots gone. Going back to Pekovic, Clark, offensively, he is a real presence. Defensively, not great, but Steve solid.
Well, he's not explosive. He's physical, but he is a good rebounder, and most importantly, he wants to mix it up down there. He's a presence, and I think that's one of the reasons he's become such a good player in this league.
And the foul called on Sean Marion. That's his first foul.
Tough call there, and a tough break for the defense.
But I think you could still see him kind of sliding in there. I don't have a problem with the call.
Pekovic off a pick from Peterson. Pekovic dishes to Love. Shot clock at 6.
3 straight misses here to start the second half.
And Nowitzki with the block.
Sometimes rest can do more harm than good. It certainly looks that way for them. They've been cold coming out and have yet to find the bottom of the net.
He has not been on his game, and their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not helped the situation.
And Rubio kicks to Martin. Love. Back to Martin. 3-pointer. Rebounded by Devin Harris. Harris has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
Something needs to change for them here. I mean, starting to have 0 for 5, that's not going to get it done.
A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play.
Hey, it goes without saying that if you're going up and your all-star power forward is on the shelf, you're going to have a tough time against the big teams in the West. Minnesota was left for the wolves, so to speak, when they matched up against others in their conference. Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
Timberwolves leading by 7. And Rubio kicks to Martin. That's in, coming off an assist from Rubio. 8 points for Kevin Martin. Well, picking up again on the Timberwolves. Last season, 17-35 record against the rest of the Western Conference, which was third worst in the conference. As Steve, you might expect, that's got to improve.
And as you said, I mean, losing so much of their front court as they did last year to injury, it's amazing that they even won that many games. I mean, if you don't have big bodies down low, it's tough to win in the West.
Minnesota's gone into a slump here from three-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the third. Here's Peterson, and again, Minnesota with the triple.
A wide open three. They need much better communication defensively.
Yeah.
Here's Calderon, guarded by Barea. Calderon passes to Carter. This is to Wright. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. Wright's got his first points of the night. The Timberwolves have gone just 25% from the field here in the second half. They're 2 of 8. Money defended by Carter. Oh, good from Peterson.
Well, I tell you what, that's fantastic defense on one of the best three-point shooters in the league. The key there was not to give him much space before he took that shot.
And that's the only way to stop him, Clark. The defender has to be all over him with a hand in his face.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
No doubt, Kevin, a stressful summer for Monte Ellis. He turned down an extension from the Milwaukee Bucks that would have amounted to $36 million over 3 years. When the offers didn't come fast and furious, he fired his agent. He ended up taking a deal with the Mavs for 3 years, $30 million. 5 of that in incentives. Guys, at least he's close to home. Dallas, a 6-hour drive from his hometown of Jackson, Mississippi.
Good point, Doris. Thanks. And stolen by Wright. In low to Ellis. That ball's nice feed this time from Jose Calderon. 16 points. Carter against Buttinger. From the arc. No good. Now the Mavericks take it the other way. They'll be at home for the next game against the Bobcats. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand.
Some really good games going on today. That Charlotte one especially.
He dishes it to Dallenberg. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Marion kicks to Calderon. 4 on the clock. Got it. Good job in the low post. And now it's just a 4-point Timberwolves lead.
That's kind of his strong suit, the ability to find his way through the defense and finish at the rim.
And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking up. And thanks for joining us again as the fourth quarter of play is up to get rolling. It's been a close battle to this point. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for Minnesota.
These long-range shots look like layups out there, guys.
Another thing they've done tonight well is share the ball. So many of their points have come off of good, crisp passes.
And a look at the 5 for the Timberwolves to start the fourth. Big man, Love, and Pekovic. Ricky Rubio is out there with money, and it's Martin in its small forward. Harris gets to Clark. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. Timberwolves leading by 5. Rubio the pass to Peterson. It's up a 3. That's good. Peterson's got 6 in the quarter.
Got to make a defensive adjustment here because he's just destroying them from three-point range.
Well, even when they've closed out on him, Steve, he's knocking them down.
Harris with it. Guarded now by Rubio. Another 3 for Dallas.
How about the response? Retaliation. Impressive, huh, guys?
I'll say exactly that as well. Nice job to recover those 3 points right away.
Love. That's to Pekovic. The jump hook. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
He operates pretty well in traffic, guys, but that was a tough play to finish off.
Ellington kicks to Harris. Another three for Dallas.
They've raised their field goal percentage just above 50% here. They actually look like a totally different team than what we saw in the first half. Much better execution offensively.
Pass it to Peterson. Fires the three. Good. Peterson's got 12 points in just the second half.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Rick Carlisle was going over with his team in that last huddle. He told his team to keep looking for three-point opportunities, saying their perimeter defense isn't doing a good job getting out on our shooters. So let's keep firing away until they decide to guard us.
Thanks, Doris. Just a little under 2.5 minutes of pass now here in the fourth. That's good.
There's been a huge discrepancy between these teams in their effectiveness from the three-point line.
And you really notice it at that end of the floor where they continue to get open looks and knock them down.
Harris dishes to Ellis. Back to Harris. Takes the three. Rebounded by the Timberwolves.
You know, not really a significant margin in terms of them rebounding, but enough to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, it's helping them get the lead. And if they can continue to rebound like this, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape.
Well, quite honestly, guys, he was one of the biggest surprises of the 2011-12 season. Heck of it. I mean, he continued to show that he's a fantastic option at the center spot with another solid season. I mean, he's a big physical presence, can finish inside, aggressive on defense and on the board, and doesn't have a bad face-up jump shot either.
Feeds it to Harris. Kicks it to Dallenberg. Great tee that time from Pekovic. Timberwolves leading by 8. And it's Rubio penetrating. Pass to Peterson. The three. Another miss by Minnesota. Going back to Pekovic, or Peck as you call him, Steve, as his teammates call him too. Another productive season. He did struggle with some injuries. Missed about 20 games, but he is a man.
Hey, Peck is a grown man.
He is
no question. Yes. Pretty remarkable second-round pick, 31st overall back in 2008. But, well, the T-Wolves have to be excited about finding their starting center of the future.
For three, Love. Offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Rubio. Now the feed to Love. The dish now to Pekovic. Tries again. That one wide left.
Really good work defensively. This coach has to be happy with his team.
Yeah, forcing that miss right there. Great effort.
Now let's the pass to Harris. There's a minute 47 left in the fourth quarter. Gets it to go. And now it's just a 4-point Timberwolves lead.
Beautiful finger roll to cap that drive off. He knows how to finish with some flair and flavor, guys.
Knocks it loose. And taken away by Ellis. Takes the lead pass. And again, it's Devin Harris. Harris has got 12 points now in the quarter.
And he has been their unquestioned leader offensively this quarter.
He feeds it to Pekovic. And the shot falls short this time. Dallas has gone 7-15 from three-point range tonight. They're not afraid of that shot. Harris against Rubio. Nowitzki kicks to Ellis. 5 on the clock. And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
Big call, Kevin. He just didn't get there quick enough, and that's a tough break.
Timberwolves have gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. Rubio the pass to Peterson. Another shot. Rubio with it. Devin Harris covering. For three. Knocks down the three.
Oh, what a basket in at the perfect time.
How about the courage and backbone of this guy? Wow.
Here's Ellis. Yes! And that shot brings them to within just 1.
They ran that inbounds play perfectly there to get the quick hitter.
And I think we'll see them burn the clock a bit here.
You know, I think that's probably a smart move.
I think so, too.
And another three-pointer to their second half total.
Yeah, they caught that long-range bug at halftime, and it's been bombs away ever since.
Here's Harris. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. And that's an intentional foul. Chase Puttinger is jacked in for Kevin Martin. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And so they foul intentionally.
Smart foul there. You've got to try to extend the game.
Yeah, it's still close, but they're fighting that clock as much as the score right now.
And he ends up making the second, and that puts them up by 5. Harris dishes to Nowitzki. And so he ends up tripped to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one.
Both shots good from the stripe.
Boy, those were massive foul shots right there. It's down to a one-possession game.
They foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point. He gets the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. He's off on the free throw and able to get that second one to drop in. Now here's Ellis. Defense is right there. Dallas again missing. And so it's the Timberwolves who come out on top here. Clark, it was anybody's game right to the very end.
Yeah, it was. The coach is happy with the outcome, but maybe not so much with the margin.
And that'll